Hello and welcome. Today on BOI Weekly, we take a look at the Bank of Industry's intervention in the Nigerian fish production industry. This coverage captures two sets of businesses supported by BOI, playing in very separate segments of the fishing value chain here in Nigeria. You can call this onshore and offshore fishing, if you will. On the one hand, we have CarFlex Fisheries Limited, a large fishing enterprise leading with a dragnet of no fewer than a dozen vessels, both for industrial and commercial fishing operations in the Nigerian and West African waters. Their services include processing and packaging of seafood products and other ancillary services for local and foreign markets. The company has almost doubled its revenue since the Bank of Industry's intervention. On the other hand, the Ido-Ibadan Fish Company is run by a group of fish farmers and feed millers. It's a cooperative society in which members leverage on one another's contribution to produce catfish and their feed, such that they are their own customers and off-takers. This way, they are able to beat down production costs, maximize profits, and guarantee the market. And with the help of the Bank of Industry, they've been able to acquire a feed mill and increase their production capacity both for catfish and their feed. I'm Kayode Alande. We have details in just a moment. Don't go away.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning. How are you?
Meet Mrs. Marina Samuel. At a glance, you could miss her for a banking executive, IT consultant, diplomat, or even a fashion entrepreneur. But no, your guess is not as good as mine. She is a fisherwoman. Perhaps that's why her first name is Marina, but Mrs. Samuel, the managing director of CarFlex Fisheries Limited, plays big in the Nigerian fishing industry. At a given time, she has at least 10 fishing and shrimping vessels dragging in hundreds of tons of fish and other kinds of seafood from the Nigerian and West African waters into homes here in Nigeria as well as others in Europe and America. She is a hand that feeds nations. CarFlex Fisheries is an indigenous company with a direct focus on industrial and commercial fishing, processing and packaging a wide variety of seafood and sundry products for Nigerian, European and American markets through their fish shops and hundreds of local and international fish agents. With a vision to become a household name in providing branded quality seafood products, CarFlex began operations 17 years ago and today has expanded its offering to satisfy heterogeneous consumers across continents. Some of their products include inkfish, croaker, catfish, soulfish, yellowtail fish, baby ray, eel, tigerfish, red snapper, grouper, brunt, calamari, barracuda, as well as shrimps, prawns, crabs, and lobsters. We visited their operational bases at the Nigerian Ports Authority Jetty, Kirikiri Town, Apapa, Lagos. She introduces us to one of the vessels that are currently on shore. Meet the vessel named Dr. Marius and get a sense of its fishing capacity and calendar. It's a 130-ton shrimping vessel.
This is Dr. Marius one of our vessels. This one came in here in 2016. Our operation is a floating factory. Everything is done on board. Once they get to sea, they haul up. All the processes that needs to be put in place is put in place, and following all the quality assurance norms in place, and then the products are put into 2-kilo packets and then into the master cartons, and then it's ready to export. After doing all the necessary things they do here, you dry the products here. After drying it for like about 3 to 4 hours before it goes into the fish hole. So it stays in the fish hole, it doesn't come out again until they are expected expected time of arrival, their ETA. When they arrive, that's when we now discharge the product. This is the wheelhouse. This is where the captain stays. He stays here, sits here. When he has to, if he has to stand, he stands to operate the vessel. As you can see, all the gadgets. These are gadgets that tell them the different areas where they can fish, where they can find the right type of fish, the right type of shrimps.
When a particular vessel is not at sea fishing, it's a window of opportunity to do its maintenance. That's what's happening to one of CarFlex's vessels here at the dock.
This is our welding area. This is where we weld.
We also had the opportunity to see other parts of the maintenance department where netting and other mechanical repair works are carried out.
This is the net the vessels use when they go to sea. And you can see they are busy preparing this net for one of our vessels that just came back from sea. This is our workshop. You have our workshop here. They are working on the cylinder head. They are preparing the cylinder head.
Next, we move to the discharge bay where the fish are sorted and distributed to agents.
This is our discharge bay. The discharge bay for the medium vessels, because those ones are brought in with the baskets. So once they come in, they pour on top of the table, they sort them out, clean them up, and hand over to the agents.
CarFlex Investment is the subsidiary that runs the company's fish shops and cold rooms, producing ice and water for washing, processing and preserving the products. We also sought to see what goes on in there.
This is the processing room. As you can see, the girls are peeling the prawns. After treating, they take to the cold room, and then from the cold room, they distribute to the different fish shops. So this is our export cold room. This is Nature's Pearl brand by CarFlex. So this comes in 2 kilos, and you have different grades and different species. So these are shrimps. You know the shrimps, you have white, you have tiger, and you have brown.
After the tour, Mrs. Samuel explained how the business started out with 10 rundown medium vessels back in 2003 and how they have grown over the years with the support of the Bank of Industry.
We acquired the CarFlex Fisheries in 2001. It used to be called Silver Fisheries. I think the former owners could not manage the company and they sold off. And we bought 10 dead medium vessels. I will call it dead because they were all not functioning. And we had to do so much work, injected a lot of funds to bring the vessels alive. And that was how we started with the 8. We sold off 2 because those ones were not redeemable, and we continued with 8. And we call them medium vessels, but some people call them croaker vessels also because it's only meant for fishing. And from 2003, we started actively. We were fishing, and then in 2004 was when we acquired our big vessel, the first 2 big vessels. And the journey started because with the big vessels, we were open to more markets. CarFlex Fisheries is like the parent company, and we have CarFlex Investment, which is the subsidiary. So CarFlex Investment, they produce ice, they produce water, and we buy ice and water from them while we give them fish. They are in charge of all our fish shops. Today we have 5 fish shops, and then CarFlex Fisheries is into commercial and industrial fishing.
What gap is CarFlex out to fill, and how well has it fared doing that?
What we intended to do, the interest to feed people, the interest to create jobs. the interest to grow the economy. So that was a major factor for us. We were able to touch many lives by way of producing food, which is by way of fish, shrimps, to the nation.
CarFlex Fisheries encountered the Bank of Industry in 2017, and the relationship has resulted in timely interventions leading to increase in working capital and other assets, as well as increased production, job creation, export and forex earning capacities.
The Bank of Industry has been fantastic. They came in at a time that we really needed help. Like I said, we have been on this journey on our own, all through from 2001 until 2017, when our relationship with Bank of Industry started. Proud to say that with the Bank of Industry loan, we're able to acquire 2 additional vessels, which have increased our net asset from 2.5 billion to about 4 billion. So I would say that Bank of Industry has really done so much for us, and we are hoping that they still continue to do much, because the more vessels we can acquire, that also means the higher the production. We will be able to increase the local production of fish. We'll also be able to increase the shrimps, which we export abroad, which also will earn foreign exchange earnings for the country. Aside that, it created more jobs. You know, having been able to get the funds we got from Bank of Industry and African Development Bank, we were able to, do a lot.
CarFlex has also responded to the Bank of Industry's gesture with commensurate goodwill, repaying their loans promptly.
For people who are in business, serious-minded people, I don't think they will take a loan and not think of paying back. Because if you don't pay back, there are consequences. And any loan that is taken sincerely should be meant for the business. Like I told you, we acquired 2 big vessels worth over $2 million. $2 million for one, and we acquired 2. Then we had paid up a little when we requested for the balance, which the Bank of Industry gave to us, and it was actually sent directly to the customer in the US through the Central Bank of Nigeria. So where would it come for you to dip your hand in, except for the working capital? Well, for the working capital, what I showed you earlier on, one of the refurbished, we are still working on that one. We've actually refurbished 5, and this has helped us to stay in business.
There are obvious challenges in the industry, but with discipline and focus, the company is able to compete favorably, learning and thriving. But government support will go a long way.
The industry itself is a challenging one because AGO, which is like the fuel that we use on our vessels, our vessels don't sleep. It's like 24/7, and just like the feed is to the farm, the fuel is to our vessels. So at very high rates, government had really not come to our aid, so we have been the ones handling it ourselves and just carrying on.
The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted several businesses in different ways, and CarFlex has had its fair share. But the sector is experiencing some movement now, and so is sales at CarFlex.
It has impacted negatively on us because right now we've had backlogs of containers that were supposed to have been exported. Our suppliers abroad are not able to sell because most of the restaurants are not functioning. There's restriction of movement, which has affected so much. However, now that restrictions are being controlled with social distancing, covering of the nose by way of wearing the mask, washing your hands, and doing so much, businesses are beginning to open up gradually.
Mrs. Samuel also speaks about the potential for growth in the industry, as well as the need to reverse the trend of reduced investment in the sector.
Potentials of growth for the industry is quite high. Like I said earlier on, Nigeria has one of the best shrimps in the world. So that creates more earnings for the country. The fish that the vessels also bring is also good because we can avoid the fish that is being imported, because we can have our local content here. We can produce fish here. We do not even have enough. The demand is about 2.6 million metric tons, but what we're able to do is 0.8 million metric tons. And that is why they have to augment by allowing, imported fish. But if we are able to get more acquisition of more vessels, then that means we can be able to feed more mouths.
Despite the challenges, CarFlex has and will continue to fight to feed the nation, of course, with the support of the Bank of Industry.
Have you ever imagined a time when you could apply for and get a loan from the comfort of your bedroom? Or prayed that the processing time was shorter? Well, it is now a reality with the fast and swift Bank of Industry real-time online loan application initiative.
The BOI online loan application portal is designed to deliver access and convenience to prospecting SME customers by ensuring that applicants need not have to physically visit the bank. Applicants simply have to submit all necessary documents via the online portal with the liberty to select their preferred BOI state office wherein their applications will be processed. How it works? Simply search the keyword Bank of Industry and download your mobile app from Play Store for Android users, BlackBerry App World for BlackBerry users, and Apple Store for iPhone users. Click on the Apply button. Click on Register to register your account. A verification link and tracking code will be sent to your registered email address. Click on the verification link to facilitate login. Once logged in, you can complete your application, submit, and click on Continue to start tracking your loan application. An email will be sent to your email address confirming receipt of the application. With this initiative, BOI has reduced its loan application and processing turnaround time. Start applying for your loan right away. Bank of Industry, transforming Nigeria's industrial sector.
Leveraging on the principle of equal opportunity and equal equity, this group of fish farmers, drawn from Aloba, Ibadan and Ido local government area of Oyo State, have pulled together funds and expertise to establish a fish feed mill that produces all the food required to raise their fish from juvenile to maturity and sell the excess to farmers outside of their group. They approached the Bank of Industry for support, and the rest is history. We visited the fish farmers' feed mill in company of the Bank of Industry's state officer in Ibadan, Mr. Paquins Irabo. After the initial exchange of pleasantries with the executive members of the Cooperative Society, Mr. Irabo expressed confidence in what they are doing and vowed that the Bank of Industry would never leave nor forsake them.
The Ido Ibadan Fish Farmers Cooperative Society Limited is very interesting for the Bank of Industry because it's a unique business model that you present to us. This is one of the very few times we'll see Nigerians having different interests coming together to solve a common challenge. So coming together to own a fish feed was quite interesting for us, and that is one of the reasons that the Bank of Industry is supporting this group.
Next, the operations manager of the Ido Ibadan Fish Farmers Association shows us how they produce feed using some of the equipment the Bank of Industry assisted them to acquire.
First of all, I will start with the fish, because the fish needs fish. Fish is fish to grow well. This is fish that I mentioned the other time. We have it in different grades, A, B, C, D. But we use the best, which is grade A for our fish here. This is the factory waste that I talked about the other time. We bring them together. This is soya meal, which we use, and then some of the other bars of fish. We bring all of them into the small grinder here. And if it is a small order, but if it is a very big order like 1,000 kilograms, we go to the other higher grinder here, which is this one that they are really working on. Some of the ingredients we talked about are some of the ones they have in here, which they are now mixing to grind together, mill together before they come to milling them inside our feed mill here. Then after milling here, we will start mixing. We add all the other ingredients and then the premix I talked about the other time. And then from there, we will take it. If it is 6 mm, we will come to our pelletizer, 6 mm. We pelletize 6 mm here, and then we go outside to spray them in the sun, which is the one we have outside there.
The president of the Ido-Ibadan Fish Farmers Cooperative Society explains how the fish farmers within Ido local government area and Ibadan came about the unique idea of setting up a cooperative society which runs a feed mill that supplies their fish business, and how the Bank of Industry came into the picture.
As a group of farmers, we always meet somehow, maybe at various feed mills where we are doing our fish feeds. Then we had a lot of problems with private feed mills, and we just decided, and as fortunate as we are, we just get ourselves together. Then we formed this cooperative society. That was in 2012. By the time we formed the cooperative society, initially we formed it as if we just want to go to government and take loan. At least 10 farmers can join together to have credit facility from BOI. So we approached. Initially, we even went to Akure, to their western office at Akure. Then we met one Mr. Ejiowuro. Interview us. He directed us to Oyo State government that we can take the loan with 5% interest. BOI will not give us cash. They can only finance assets for us. And they told us point blank that they cannot give us cash and they will not fund any building for us. So that we must have our structures on ground. So we come back, we task ourselves, and we erect this structure. Just decided within the cooperative that what are the things that can, as a common thing that we have, that we all have as a problem, that is feed me.
This sort of cooperative society is uniquely strong and offers some of the best results because it runs on a self-sustaining model. The treasurer and strategist of the cooperative society, Mr. Olumide Olalekan, further explains why and how they chose the business model.
Quite a number of people know about the cooperative, but it's a different shift. As the kind of model we're running on is what we call the cooperative business model. Now, this business is owned by cooperative societies, and this model can also be extended to other sectors and other businesses as well.
The Bank of Industry thrives on maximizing linkages. This lady is one of the beneficiaries of the Graduate Entrepreneurship Fund, GEF. From the loan she secured from the Bank of Industry, she now has her own ponds, and she gets feed supply from the mill to service her 2 ponds, now home to more than 5,000 fish. She is delighted the Bank of Industry supported her.
Firstly, I would like to say a big thank you to the Bank of Industry, because they have really helped a lot of youths out there. When I was serving, I was like, no job there. How do I, after my service here, what do I do? How do I do this? How do I do that? And I'm really an entrepreneur. I have interest for my personal agriculture. Let me say agriculture to be precise. So with Bank of Industry, it has really helped me to achieve, let me say, achieve my dreams, my passion for agriculture.
It's no surprise at all that the Bank of Industry supported these commercial and industrial fish farmers. It really doesn't matter in which category you play. BOI is there for you. Take a step today and let the Bank of Industry help you. Visit their office closest to you or log on to their website at boi.ng. You can also apply for BOI loans online. Simply download the BOI SME Loan app from the Google Play Store and follow the instructions. Feel free to tweet at me at KAY for further inquiries. And you can watch previous editions of the program on youtube.com by typing BOI Weekly in the search area. That will be our package for today. Many thanks for watching. I'm Kayode Alayande. Bye now.